The world had changed. One morning, the skies over Earth lit up with a strange silver light. A giant spaceship, shaped like a sharp blade, came down slowly through the clouds. It was not a dream. It was not a movie. It was real. The Galactic Empire had arrived. People all over the planet watched with wide eyes. News channels went crazy. Soldiers stood ready. Some people screamed. Some cried. But others surprisingly started laughing. In a green field near a small town, the alien ship finally landed. The ship opened, and a long ramp came down. From the inside walked tall, shiny aliens wearing gold armor. Their leader had blue skin, red eyes, and 4 long fingers on each hand. He was called Grand Executor Ralcoon. Ralcoon stood proudly, looking at the humans like they were insects. He raised his arm and spoke through a translator device. "People of Earth, you now belong to the Galactic Empire. You must follow our rules. Bow before your new rulers." There was silence. Then someone in the crowd asked, "Wait, what?" Another voice shouted, "Bro, is this a prank?" And then one young man laughed loudly and said, "Do we at least get space pizza with this empire thing?" More humans began to giggle, then laugh, then clap. A few started filming the aliens with their phones. Some even started dancing. Ralcon's red eyes blinked. He looked confused. This was not how it was supposed to happen. Every other planet feared him. They cried. They obeyed. But these humans were joking. He tried again. "This is serious. The Empire is powerful. You must respect us." A woman in the front yelled, "You look like my ex in a Halloween costume." The crowd roared with laughter. One man offered a soda can to the alien. "Thirsty, my guy." The alien guards looked around in shock. Their weapons were ready, but their leader stopped them. Ralcoon's translator made a strange beep sound. Even the device was confused by the jokes. Ralcoon turned to his assistant. "Are they broken?" The assistant replied, "No, sir, I believe. They think you're funny." "Funny. I am not funny. I am fear. I am power." But the humans didn't care. To them, this was the most entertaining event in history. Within hours, millions of people watched it online. Videos with titles like "Aliens got roasted by Earthlings." And when aliens met Earth memes flooded the internet, even late-night TV hosts joined in, saying things like, "I welcome our alien overlords as long as they don't cancel Netflix." The government didn't know what to do. Earth's leaders were ready for war or peace, but not for this kind of comedy. Later that evening, Earth held an emergency meeting. The president asked, "Who do we send to speak to these aliens?" Someone replied, "A general?" Another said, "A scientist." Then a third voice said, "Why not a comedian?" And that's how a stand-up comedian named Ray, who usually performed in small clubs, was chosen to represent Earth. He wasn't a hero. He didn't wear a suit, just packed his microphone, put on his funny shirt, and said, "All right, let's make space history." As he entered the alien ship the next day, people cheered and chanted, "Make them laugh, Ray." The world watched, not with fear, but with smiles. Something strange was happening, and it had just begun. Ray had never been in a spaceship before. He had never worn a suit or given a speech to world leaders. But now he was Earth's chosen ambassador to the Galactic Empire. Not a general, not a scientist, just a man who told jokes in small comedy clubs on weekends. Still, everyone cheered for him. Ray stepped into the alien ship with his usual bright Hawaiian shirt, his flip-flops, and a small bag. Inside the ship, glowing walls and floating lights made everything feel like a sci-fi movie. But he wasn't scared, just whistled and said, "Cool place. You guys got snacks?" The alien guards didn't move. They looked confused. Grand Executor Ralcoon stood in the center of the room, tall and serious. His long robe shimmered. His sharp eyes glared at Ray. "You are Earth's leader," he asked through his translator. "Nope," Ray said with a grin. "Just Earth's class clown." Ralcoon didn't understand. "What is a clown?" "A person who makes others laugh," Ray replied. "Which, clearly, your people need." "Seriously? You guys smile at all?" Ralcoon's frown grew deeper. "The Empire is not here for laughter. You're here to control and guide. Ray walked closer. And how's that working out for you? You show up in shiny clothes, shout commands, and expect everyone to bow? Come on, man. Haven't you seen what humans do when someone tells them what to do? We make memes. The alien guards shifted. Some looked uncomfortable. One even sneezed nervously. Ray pulled out a small projector and pressed a button. A video played on the wall. Funny clips of cats jumping, humans slipping, babies laughing, and grandmas dancing on TikTok. The room filled with strange new sounds. It wasn't fear. It wasn't confusion. It was laughter. A small alien with 6 arms let out a loud giggle. Another one tried to hold back but failed. Even one of the robot guards did a small beep-beep chuckle. Ralcoon shouted, "Silence! This is not the way of the Empire." But it was too late. Ray smiled. "See, we don't need blasters. We just need bad jokes and cat videos." Ralcoon looked shocked. "You mock us. You refuse to fear us. Why?" Ray looked straight at him. "'Cause we've lived through wars, hunger, pandemics, and reality TV. You think your glowing eyes scare us? We've had to survive Mondays." One of the alien assistants gasped. "Mondays?" Ray nodded seriously. "The worst day of the week. Even our bravest fear it." There was silence again, then sudden laughter from the back of the room. Ralcoon turned to his team. "Why are they laughing?" An alien general replied, "Sir, they are not mocking us. They are teaching us their humor. It spreads." Ray sat down on one of the floating chairs. "Look, I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to show you who we are. We humans are silly, chaotic, loud, and very, very stubborn. But we also know how to laugh in dark times. Now that's our real power." Ralcoon didn't respond. He stood still for a long time, and slowly his shoulders relaxed. That is new," he said. "This is not how we expected first contact." Ray grinned. "Welcome to Earth, my shiny space friend. Nothing goes as planned here." Suddenly, a call came in from Earth. The president's voice echoed through the ship. "Ray, how's it going?" Ray answered, "So far. I think we just made the Empire laugh for the first time in 10,000 years." The world watched the broadcast with wide eyes. The Galactic Empire was changing, and a human comedian had started it. After Ray made the Galactic Empire laugh, everything changed. The aliens had expected humans to be weak, scared, or serious. But instead, they found humans who made jokes, shared cat videos, and laughed at danger. The Galactic Emperor was silent for days. He sat on his glowing throne and watched videos from Earth-dancing humans, strange food challenges, prank shows. In comedy clips, for the first time in centuries, the Emperor felt curious. Meanwhile, Earth was having a party. People danced in the streets. News channels called Ray the hero with the microphone. Kids dressed up like aliens. Even world. Leaders began speaking with more humor during meetings. But the best part? Earth decided to send something special back to the Empire. Not a warship, not a science ship, but something totally human. They called it the SS Meme Cruiser. It was bright, it was loud, it was colorful. The outside was painted with laughing faces, emojis and giant words like LOL and peace. Inside, it carried comedians, artists, pizza chefs, dancers, and even a dog that could skateboard. Ray was the captain, of course. Before takeoff, reporters asked him, "Is this a joke?" Ray smiled. "No, this is diplomacy Earth style." The SS Meme Cruiser flew through space like a flying circus. Alien ships followed it, curious. Some tried to scan it. Others didn't know what to do. They had never seen a ship with disco lights before. The Meme Cruiser's first stop was the planet Fralix, home of the Empire's most serious generals. These generals never smiled. They trained all day, followed rules, and spoke in short, robotic sentences. When Ray and his team landed on Fralix, they were met by rows of silent soldiers. The lead general stepped forward. "State your business." Ray replied, "We came to make your planet smile." The general frowned. "That is not possible." "Challenge accepted," Ray said, pulling out a small speaker. Suddenly, Earth music blasted across the landing zone. Bright balloons floated out of the ship. A group of humans started breakdancing. Chef tossed pizzas in the air while spinning. On roller skates, one soldier twitched, another blinked. Then a small alien cadet laughed so hard, fell over. The general looked shocked. He has never laughed before. Ray handed him a slice of pizza. Try it. Cheese can change lives. The general took a bite. His eyes widened. What is this flavor? That's Earth joy in a triangle, Ray replied proudly. Soon. The entire Fralix training base was dancing, eating, and trying jokes. The meme cruiser's comedians told stories about Earth life, embarrassing Zoom calls, weird animals, and crazy inventions. Aliens laughed until their breathing masks fogged up. Later that night, for the first time ever, Fralix held its first Galactic comedy night. Aliens and humans shared the stage. One tall insect alien told a joke about having too many legs and not enough shoes. The crowd loved it. Ray looked around and smiled. This was bigger than jokes. This was peace. Back in the Empire's capital, the Emperor watched the videos with his advisors. One of them said, "Sir, this is dangerous. Human culture is spreading." The Emperor replied, "It is not dangerous. It is powerful. But they do not follow our rules." "No," the Emperor said. "They follow laughter, and perhaps that is stronger than fear." He stood up slowly. "Prepare the council. I wish to meet the humans again." While most of the galaxy was starting to enjoy human jokes, food, and music, not everyone was happy. Deep inside the Empire, some old leaders were angry. They were part of a secret group called the Silence Corps. These were the oldest generals, admirals, and judges of the Empire. For thousands of years, they ruled through fear, control, and silence. They believed emotions were weak and laughter was dangerous. To them, the humans were not funny. They were a threat. In a dark chamber filled with cold metal walls, the Silence Corps held a meeting. The leader, a tall alien with no mouth and glowing green eyes, spoke first. "We warned the Empire," he said. "Look what has happened. Our dancing, soldiers are laughing. Our traditions are falling apart," another member added, "and they eat triangle food with melted cheese." "The humans must be stopped," said the third. The Silence Corps planned to destroy Earth's influence. Before it spread too far, they chose a target: the next Galactic Comedy Night, which was going to be held on the Empire's capital moon. Humans and aliens from across the galaxy were invited. Even the Emperor planned to attend. Ray and his crew were already preparing for the event. They decorated the stage with glowing lights and giant smiley faces. Music played from large speakers. Aliens practiced stand-up comedy with their human friends. Some wore silly costumes. Others juggled or told jokes about their weird body parts. Ray stood on stage with a mic in hand. "This is what peace looks like," he said proudly, but in the shadows. The Silence Corps had already hacked into the event systems. Just as the show began, they activated their hidden plan. Suddenly, the speaker screamed with loud, scary sounds. The lights turned red. Strange images flashed on the screens. These were old fear signals used by the Empire long ago to make weak species obey. Aliens in the crowd began to panic. Some screamed. Others hid under their seats. A few started running. Fear spread like wildfire. Ray grabbed the mic. Hey, this isn't part of the act." Then he saw them three masked figures near the control panel. The Silence Corps agents. Ray whispered to his crew, "Don't panic. Let's flip the script." Instead of stopping the show, Ray turned to the crowd and shouted, "All right, everyone. Welcome to the Fear Signal Dance Battle." Music changed. The humans started dancing like crazy, wiggling, spinning, even falling on purpose. Some aliens stopped screaming and looked up in confusion. Then, the screen showed a looping video of a human pretending to cry over spilled ice cream. The crowd paused. An alien kid giggled. Another one joined. Ray shouted, "Whoever dances best gets free Earth pizza." That did it. The fear started to break. Aliens stood up and danced. Others laughed at the silly human moves. The mood changed from panic to party. The Silence Corps agents tried to stop it, but their signals no longer worked. Laughter was stronger. Joy was louder. Even fear couldn't stand against fun. One of the masked agents whispered they're turning fear into fun. Another said, "We failed. Again." The Emperor watched everything from his private chamber. He didn't stop. He just watched as thousands of aliens and humans laughed together. He leaned back in his chair and said softly, "The galaxy has already changed." That night, the capital moon's sky was filled with fireworks, music, and joy. The Silence Corps disappeared into the shadows once more, but they knew the truth now. The humans had one heart, without a single weapon. While the galaxy was laughing, dancing, and eating Earth pizza, one alien was not laughing at all. Her name was Dr. Velna, a senior science officer in the Galactic Research Division. She had long silver arms, large black eyes, and a mind sharper than any computer. She didn't care about jokes, music, or memes. She only cared about data. For weeks, she watched videos of humans. She studied their reactions, their emotions, and their history. She saw them laugh in war zones, smile in pain, and make jokes even during disasters. She was confused. Why do they laugh during serious times? How can they smile when their world is falling apart? What is the real power of laughter? She needed answers. Also, she made a decision. She secretly traveled to Earth, disguised in human clothes, and using a small translator earpiece, she walked the streets of a human city. She saw children playing tag, teenagers dancing on sidewalks, old people laughing in parks, and a street performer telling jokes to strangers. She sat on a bench and watched silently. A little girl noticed her strange eyes and asked, "Are you a robot?" Velna answered, "No, I'm just ... curious." The girl gave her a candy and said, "Then you need to smile more. It helps." Velna didn't understand, but she took the candy. Later, she visited a comedy club. Ray was performing. Live that night. The room was full of humans and a few aliens. Everyone was laughing loudly. Ray told silly jokes, made faces, and even fell off the stage on purpose. People laughed so hard they cried. Velna sat in the back taking notes, but something strange happened. She laughed. Not loudly, just a small sound, but it was real. She didn't expect it. Her face felt strange, her chest lighter, her brain buzzed with something new. She quickly left the club, confused. Back in her lab on the moon base, she studied her own brain scan. Something had changed. Laughter had released strange chemical signals of joy, safety, and bonding. She wrote in her report, "Human laughter is not weakness. It is a survival tool. It reduces fear. It builds trust, connects strangers. It heals pain. This power." She called a meeting with the Galactic Science Council. They all gathered serious minds from across the Empire. Velna stood in front of them with charts, images, and proof. She played videos of humans laughing during tough times, soldiers in bunkers joking about food, doctors in busy hospitals sharing smiles, and children laughing during storms. Then she showed brain scans how laughter healed stress, improved thinking, and even boosted health. One scientist whispered, "Is it a kind of mental shield?" Velna replied, "Yes, a shield made of joy. And Earth has mastered it." The room was silent. Then the head scientist, a cold being from the ice planet Zarn, said, "This changes everything. We always believed fear was the strongest force. We were wrong," the Emperor was informed. Velna was invited to present her findings. She stood before him, nervous. "Your Highness, the humans are not weak. Their humor is not foolish. It is ... powerful." The Emperor listened. Then he did something no one had ever seen. He smiled just a little, but it was real, he said. "Prepare the new galactic schools. Add laughter to the curriculum." Velna blinked. "Laughter. In schools? Yes," said the Emperor. "Let the next generation grow strong, not only in mind, but also in heart." And so across the Empire, things began to shift. Not just music and memes, but a deeper, the understanding of humanity. The power of laughter was no longer a mystery, it was a gift. After Dr. Velna's discovery, everything in the Empire began to change. For thousands of years, the Galactic Empire ruled with rules, power, and silence. But now, laughter was being added to the system. It started small, one school on one planet, then another. Soon, galactic schools in every star system were teaching a new subject, Earth Humor 101. The course included memes, jokes, funny videos, and even pizza making. Alien children laughed for the first time in classrooms that were once silent. Some planets had never even allowed music before now. They danced during breaks. Teachers from Earth arrived wearing silly hats and telling stories that made the students cry from laughing. One alien child asked his teacher, "Why didn't we do this before?" The teacher replied, "Because sometimes the galaxy forgets how to smile. You're lucky. You get to learn young." Even the Empire's army changed. Soldiers were still trained to fight, but now they also trained to understand peace. Ray and his crew visited military bases and made soldiers laugh so hard they dropped their weapons. But something beautiful happened. They started picking up instruments, paintbrushes, and books instead. One commander said, "We still protect, but we now protect something more important, joy." Across the galaxy, humans were now called ambassadors of emotion. Wherever they went, laughter followed. Some taught dance, others shared games, jokes, or stories. When human became famous for teaching aliens how to play dodgeball and fall down in the funniest ways. Ray's meme cruiser became a symbol of peace. Whenever it landed on a planet, children came running, holding handmade signs that said, "We love Earth," or "Humans equals fun." The Empire Council, once cold and formal, now held open forums where anyone, even children, could speak, joke, or sing. One day, a small frog-like alien named Keepy stood in front of the council and sang a silly Earth, a song about bananas. Everyone laughed. Even the Emperor clapped. The Silence Corps, the secret group that once wanted to stop humans, had gone quiet. Some of them had even disappeared. A few were spotted living quietly on distant planets learning to paint, cook, or write poetry. Ray was proud but tired. He had spent years flying across the stars, spreading joy. One evening, he stood on the balcony of the Emperor's palace. Looking at the stars, Dr. Velna joined him. "You know," she said, "I used to think you were a fool." Ray smiled. "I was. Still am sometimes." "But you changed the galaxy," she added. "Without a single weapon?" Ray looked up. "Not true. He had one, the strongest of all." She nodded. Laughter. That night, a new document was signed, the Galactic Peace and Culture Accord. It promised that all planets would support not only trade and defense, but also happiness, freedom of expression, and shared joy every year after that. One special day was celebrated across the stars, First Contact Day, the day humans made the galaxy laugh, planets decorated there, cities. People wore silly costumes, comedy shows played all day, and children learned that peace was not just in silence but in shared laughter, from war worlds to icy moons. The sound of joy now echoed where fear once ruled. The Empire was no longer just a galactic force. It had become a galactic family, and in the center of it all, Earth smiled its strange, chaotic, laughing people finally understood. They didn't need to conquer the stars. They just needed to remind them how to feel alive. Many years had passed since Earth first met the Galactic Empire. Now, the stars were full of color, music, and laughter. What once was a cold, serious, and silent empire had become something warm and welcoming. It was no longer feared, it was loved. At the center of this change stood one man, Ray, the human comedian, now old and gray, sat on a bench outside the Galactic Council Hall. Children ran past him, some human, some alien. They laughed, chased each other, and waved at Ray. He smiled and waved back. His hair was thin now, and his legs were slower. But his heart, Still full of jokes, that day, a grand ceremony was held in his honor. A crowd of thousands had gathered. From across the galaxy, Emperor himself stepped onto the stage and called Ray forward. As Ray walked up, people clapped, cheered, and threw flowers. The Emperor raised his hands and said, "Many years ago, this man walked into our empire and did something we had never seen before. He made us laugh." The crowd cheered. The Emperor continued, "He taught us that laughter is not weakness. It is strength. It is peace. It is connection. Ray did not just change us. He saved us." Ray was given the Galactic Medal of Unity, the highest honor in the Empire. He looked at the medal, then at the crowd. He took a deep breath and spoke. "You know," he said, "when I first walked onto that shiny alien ship, I thought I'd be vaporized in 5 seconds. I didn't expect to live. I definitely didn't expect to become friends with a blue emperor and get hugs from tentacle kids." The crowd laughed. "I came here with nothing but my voice, my jokes, and a stomach full of bad coffee. But what I saw in you was something beautiful. You weren't enemies. You were just lonely." He paused and looked at the stars above. "And we humans, we're good at finding light in the dark. We laugh because it helps us survive. And I'm glad we could share that with you." A small alien child shouted from the crowd, "We love you, Uncle Ray." Ray smiled, wiping a tear. "Thank you, little buddy," he said. "But remember, the laughter isn't mine anymore. It's yours now. Keep it alive. Protect it. Share it." That night, a new human ship launched from Earth's orbit. It was a beautiful white vessel with gold lines and a glowing blue engine. Its name was painted in bold letters on the side: SS Laughter. Never Dies, the ship carried teachers, artists, doctors, and dreamers. It wasn't going to war. It was going to forgotten corners of the galaxy to bring hope, joy, healing to places that still lived in fear as it flew through the stars. Ray watched it from the palace balcony with Dr. Velna beside him. "You started something big," she said. "No," Ray replied softly. "We all did. Do you think they'll remember?" Ray chuckled. "If not, we'll remind them with jokes." She laughed too, soft, warm laugh. The stars above sparkled like diamonds. Somewhere far away, on a dark and quiet planet, an alien child watched an old Earth cartoon on a dusty screen and laughed for the first time. That sound echoed into space, and in that moment, the galaxy felt a little brighter because of Earth. Because of Earth. Because of humanity. Because of one simple truth: laughter can reach where weapons never will.